AI.
How AI can influence your child's future.
I wanted to address a really important topic because I came back from a conference yesterday and the name of the game was AI. Literally every session was dedicated to some topic around AI, whether it was AI in essay writing, AI in how college admissions officers use it in reviewing applications, ethical use of AI in advising students around college admissions, and of course, AI when it comes to future jobs, college majors, and so on. So this is what today's episode is going to be about. So let's get into it. If you are a parent of a high school student, I'll be honest with you. The career advice you've been giving your teen right now is probably the same advice your parents gave you. And it's not going to work anymore. At least that's what I learned yesterday. AI has changed everything about how the future of work looks, and most families are still planning like it's 1995. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 things that actually matter and how to help your teen build a future-proof foundation starting right now. Here's the reality. Parents feel an enormous pressure to guide their teens towards the right path, but nobody knows what that path looks like anymore. The traditional playbook, pick a major, get a degree, and land a stable job, is breaking down in real time. AI is reshaping industries faster than anyone can track, and the gap between what schools teach and what the future demands just keeps on widening. You feel stuck and you want to help your kid, but you're terrified of giving them an outdated advice that leaves them unprepared. And you are feeling anxious about technology displacement. You feel guilty that you don't have answers. I see this honestly every day at College Starpoint. Families come to me overwhelmed and trying to figure out how to prepare their teens for a world that refuses to sit still. And here's what I've learned. The students who thrive aren't the ones who perfectly predict what jobs will exist in 10 years. They're the ones who build adaptability, curiosity, and real-world problem-solving skills through purposeful activity planning. That's what I'm going to teach you today. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what skills your teen needs to build, not some vague theoretical way, but through the activities and experiences they're choosing right now in high school. And you're going to have a practical framework you can use starting today to help them build those skills without the panic, without the guessing, and without the wasting time on things that actually don't matter. So let's get into it. Point number 1, your teen doesn't need to know what they want to be. They need to know how to become anything. Let me tell you what I see all the time. Most teenagers know only a handful of jobs. Teachers, doctors, maybe a lawyer, maybe someone in the business. That's about it. So when parents ask a 15 or 16-year-old, what do you want to major in, or what career do you want? They are not being resistant when they shrug. They're being honest. The world of work has exploded into thousands of roles your teen has never heard of, and AI is reshaping those roles faster than anyone can track. The kids literally don't have enough information yet to answer those questions, and that's okay. The goal of high school is not to lock in a career. The goal is to widen the lens. The students who understand how people work, not just what they do, make better decisions later. They ask smarter questions. They avoid majors that sound impressive but don't fit into how they actually think or learn. And here's why this matters. AI is already transforming healthcare, finance, engineering, marketing, and everything. That's not predictions, that's reality. But here's what parents need to understand. The students who will thrive aren't the ones who pick the right major in 26, 2027, and 2028. They're the ones who will adapt when plans change, when industries shift, when opportunities emerge that didn't exist when they started college. Think about it this way. Your teen is building a toolkit, not following a blueprint. A student who learns how to learn, how to pivot, how to stay curious when things get uncertain. That's the student that is preparing for the future. So let's talk about what it looks like in practice. Adaptability isn't taught in the classroom. It's built through experience. Students develop it when a project doesn't go as planned and when they adjust instead of giving up, when a leadership role feels harder than expected and they push through instead of quitting, when an interest evolves instead of disappearing and they follow the thread instead of forcing the original plan. At College Starpoint, we help students see their activities as connected, not random. When a student reflects on what sparked their interest, how they got involved, where they took the initiative, what impact they created, they begin to understand how they grow. And that self-awareness is one of the most valuable skills they can carry into college and beyond. So here's the thing about activities that most families get wrong. Activities aren't resume padding. They are testing ground. A student who enjoys organizing events is learning something very different about themselves than a student who prefers research, analysis, or mentoring. Both are valuable, but they reveal different strengths, different ways of thinking, different paths forward. So instead of asking, does this look good for college? Try asking, what part of this did you enjoy? What felt draining? Would you want more of this or would you want less of this? Those answers matter more than activity title. This builds adaptability through honest reflection about what works and what doesn't. So here's what I want you to do. Parents, your job isn't to push perfection. It's to encourage stretch. Growth happens just outside of what feels easy. After every activity, after every semester, sit down with your teen and ask reflective questions. What did you learn? What surprised you? What would you do differently next time? Those conversations prevent expensive missteps later. They build the adaptability your teen needs right now. All right, so my second point is this. We live in a world where AI can write essays and analyze data. The thing that will set your teen up apart is something technology can't replicate, which is real-world judgment. We're moving from an economy that rewards information memorization to one that rewards application. AI can process data faster than any human. It can draft reports, generate code, and create art. But what it can do is lead team through conflict, read a room, make a judgment call when stakes are high, build trust when people are skeptical. Colleges and employers aren't just looking for students who know things. They're looking for students who can do real things, lead, collaborate, solve messy problems, communicate across differences, take initiative when there's no clear answer. Meaningful activity planning helps students build those skills early. A student who organizes a local fundraiser, leads a club, or works part-time is learning how to communicate, plan, and solve problems in real time. These experiences show initiative and create a clear story of growth, something admissions officers and future employers value deeply. Let me give you a real example that I see at College Starpoint. A student starts volunteering at a community center. At first, they just show up. Then they notice the schedule is just disorganized and nobody knows who's coming when. So they create a system. They coordinate with other volunteers. Suddenly, they're not just participating, they're leading. That's the progression colleges want to see. That's the experience employers will pay for later. Now, here's a mistake I see way too many families make. They think more activities equals stronger application. It doesn't work that way. 4 to 6 sustained commitments, each showing leadership or growth over time, will always beat a resume with 20 one-time involvements. Depth demonstrates follow-through. Continuity shows commitment. Ownership proves real contribution. Progression reveals character and grit. Colleges and future employers are looking for depth, continuity, ownership, not long lists. So let me give you a few examples. A volunteer role that turns into coordinating schedules, leading a project, a part-time job that evolves into training new employees, a club member who becomes a builder, not just a participant. These experiences demonstrate real skills, communication, leadership, follow through, problem solving. They're telling a story of growth. They're showing how they moved from curiosity to contribution to leadership. Parents, sit down with your teen once or twice a year, maybe at the end of each semester, and ask, where are you growing? Where could you take more ownership? What's the worth of continuing? These conversations create clarity, and clarity prevents frantic resume building that colleges see right through. College admission officers can tell the difference between a student who looks busy and a student who looks purposeful. Future employers can tell the difference between someone who checks the boxes and someone who created value. A real-world experience done with depth, intention builds both. And in the world where AI can handle the technical stuff, that human judgment is what will set your teen apart. Let me tell you the last point I want to make about AI. AI literacy is not about learning the code. It's about learning to think. Let me be honest with you. Most parents think AI and think that their kid needs to become a software engineer or that they're going to be left behind. That is not true. Your teen does not need to be a computer scientist to succeed in the world. They need to have a judgment. Digital judgment means understanding what AI is good at and where it falls short, when to use it and what not to use it, when to evaluate the quality it produces, what question it raises, how to combine AI with the speed of human creativity and critical thinking. At College Starpoint, I've seen students use AI thoughtfully to analyze data for a community project, to brainstorm research questions for a science fair, to explore ethical questions and humanities work. The value isn't the tool itself, it's how the student thinks about the tool. Parents ask me all the time, should my students be using AI or should we avoid it? And here's my answer. Avoiding it doesn't build judgment. Using it responsibly does. Let me give you a couple of examples of what that looks like. A student doing research and uses AI to find patterns in the data, then critically assesses whether those patterns are meaningful or misleading. A student preparing for a debate using AI to generating opposing viewpoints, then strengthens their own argument by understanding where AI's logic breaks down. This teaches critical thinking. Not all AI outputs are equally valuable. It teaches creativity. AI can generate ideas, but humans decide what's worth pursuing. It teaches ethics. When is AI helpful versus when does it undermine learning or integrity? And it teaches efficiency. How to use technology to do better work faster without sacrificing quality. Here's where activity planning comes in. Students can build AI literacy naturally through their high school experiences. Using AI to help plan a fundraiser or analyze survey results for a club project. Exploring how AI affects their areas of interest, art, medicine, journalism, sports analytics. Discussing ethical implications of AI in a debate team, student government, or research project. The goal isn't to make them experts. The goal is to make them thoughtful. Parents, here's what I want you to do. Replace fear with curiosity. Try exploring an AI tool together, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever. Ask your team, how could this help you with your schoolwork or a project you're working on? Where does it help or where does it give you bad information? What concerns does this raise for you? Those conversations build digital maturity. They help your teen become not just a consumer of technology, but a thoughtful participant in it when it's used. AI is a part of every day now, and journalism, marketing, medicine, engineering, law, education, students who learn to use these tools thoughtfully will have a major advantage. Not because they're tech geniuses, but because they understand how to combine technology with judgment, creativity, and critical thinking. And those are the skills technology cannot replace. Now, you're watching this and thinking, okay, I understand what my teen needs to build, but I have no idea how to actually structure or how to help them create a plan that leads somewhere. And that's exactly the work that I do with families at College Starpoint. We don't just talk about adaptability and judgment in abstract. We help your teen identify strengths, choose activities that build real skills, and craft a college application strategy that tells a powerful, authentic story of growth. If you want help creating a roadmap strategically, calmly, and intentionally, I'll put a link in the description below to learn more about how we can help and how we can work together. So let me just recap of what we covered today, because these three things really are the foundation of helping your teen prepare for the future none of us can fully predict. Number one, adaptability beats career prediction every single time. Your teen doesn't need to know exactly what they want to be. They need to build the skill of learning, adjusting, and growing through experiences that stretch them. Number two, real-world experience done with depth and intention matters more than a long list of shallow involvements. Colleges and future employers are looking for students who've taken ownership, shown leadership, and created real impact that happens through sustained commitment, not resume padding. And number three, your teen doesn't need to become a computer scientist to thrive in an AI-driven world, but they do need digital judgment, the ability to use technology thoughtfully, critically, and ethically. The bottom line is this: today's students don't just want a degree, they want direction. And parents help most by slowing the process enough to show them clarity through exploration, reflection, and informed decision-making. Now that you understand what skills your teen needs to build for an AI-driven future, you need to know how to turn that into an actual plan. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube for more practical tips for college admission advice. Subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media for more college admission tips.